Come on in the room. Come on in the room. There's healing for your soul. They're going to show this at work. Come on in the room. Woo! Come on in the room. Come on in the room. There's healing for your soul. Hallelujah. I'm just getting Mama Diggs ready over here. All right. All right. So hello, everyone, and welcome to the 23rd Central Texas African American Family Support Conference. My name is Kimberly Holliday, and once again, I have the honor of serving as your moderator for today's session. Shortly, we'll enjoy Black women, caregiving, and parenting, a cultural case for our mental health. I'd also like to welcome everyone who is joining us online virtually through the Hoover app. We are so happy that you are here today. Our chat champion will make you feel right at home and provide any information you need throughout the session. Since we have people joining us online, I'm also asking that if you have questions or comments, that you please be patient and allow me to get with you to the microphone, because we want those who are attending online to be able to hear those questions as well. It is equally important. Yesterday, I checked our Hoover app. We had over 1,400 people in our audience, and that is so amazing. Yeah, so you may have seen, I think we sold out the event at about 750 people, but we doubled that, yeah, with our virtual online platform. So again, isn't that so awesome? And next year, we hope for it to be even larger. Before we get started, I want to give a big old shout out to our sponsor, Austin Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Thank you for making this conference possible. Now, I was winded up. Absolutely. Actually, we're asking that if you're in the room in person, that you not watch it through the Hoover app, because we're actually keeping track of those numbers in real time. And so if you're in the room, just be present. Put your phone down. I'm gonna make you put your phone down. Oh, that's secular music. Let me not go there. All right, now we have a few housekeeping items to go over together. I want to remind you that this is a safe, supportive space, and we ask that you please help us maintain a respectful and inclusive environment. If you are in this room and in person, once again, please do not join the live session on Hoover. If at any time you find that you feel overwhelmed, you need someone to talk to, you just need some time and some space, I want to remind you that our comfort suite is located right at the end of this hallway. And I've been down there just to listen to music and to play with some of their manipulatives. It brought me peace, all right? So I want to encourage you just to stop in and check out our comfort suite. If you are registered for CEU, remember you must sign in at the beginning of this session. Our volunteer is here. We also have a QR code that you may scan at the back of the room. Make sure you get you some of this conference swag. I don't have it on today, but if you want to shop, you can go to ctaafsc.com/shop. Now, at this time, please join me in welcoming my friend, Melanie Smith Diggs. And I just want to tell you a little bit about my friend. Melanie Smith Diggs is a graduate of the University of Texas at Austin, earning a BA in sociology and a master's in education. As a public servant, she worked for 40 years in social services. She has held several positions, such as a teacher, a caseworker, a case manager, and a district manager within several social service agencies within Austin. Oh, yeah, I'm talking about you. Currently, she is the tenured community liaison for the Travis County Health and Human Services. Without any further delay, may I present to some and introduce to others Miss Melanie Smith-Diggs.
Hey, y'all. I'm just Melanie, okay? I'm just another senior lady who's worked her behind off 40-some years, okay? I need to go and sit down, but there is a work for me to do. I'm so grateful you're here today. This is called the Beauty Shop. Now, how many of you are over 60? Show of hands. Kim, you may want to knock that down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the front row. These are my buddies. Luann, 6, 7, 8. It's about 8 of us over 60. How many of you are on the age of, let me see, any 20-year-olds in here? Oh, baby, I love those 20s. What about 30 to 40? Okay, and any 50s? Okay, so the ladies that are 60 years and older, they can relate to the beauty shop. Let me tell y'all about the beauty shop that I grew up in. Long time ago, we didn't have beauty shops in those shopping centers. We couldn't go to J.C. Penney's and Macy's hair salon. I went to Miss E. Toy Valery's beauty shop, which was behind her house. Okay? And in that beauty shop, she had 1 sink, she had 2 hair dryers, and she was pressing hair. Y'all remember those days? She'd have a cup of ice. Miss Etoy loved ice. So she'd have a big old cup of ice, and when she turned her back, I'd eat some. But the funny thing about Miss Etoy was it would be about 4 or 5 ladies in the shop. It wouldn't be a lot of me because the place couldn't hold that many. But my mama took me to the beauty shop every 2 weeks because this hair was thick, super thick, and it was long. And mama would try and press my hair, and I all on the floor. Mama, you're burning my ears. Hold your ears. I mean, hurting. So Miss Valerie, a friend of the family, Emma Jane, send that girl on over here. I'll press her hair and won't burn her for $2. Do you hear me? I get my hair pressed every 2 weeks for how much? I went to the beauty shop last year. I walked out with a red afro for $120. It was shaped. I said, well, baby, you ain't gonna be shaped no more, not for that, okay? And my husband standing in the back, he don't know I used to pay that much for my hair. So anyway, but I used to get my hair pressed to go to school for $2. And my mama still, I know y'all don't know about this, part that hair busted down the middle, pigtail here, and 2 in the back. And oh, it was special. It was special when I wore 2 pigtails, but I always had to wear 3. Okay? Anyway, in this beauty shop, these ladies would get together. Girl, I hadn't seen you in 2 weeks. It wasn't like it is today. See, if you called on the phone, you had to be careful what you said on the phone because that was a party line. 3 or 4 other folks on the line listening to you gossip. You got to remember the times in which we came. And you know how I know all of this? They talk about everything. The neighborhood gossip, what went on in church. They talk about Mahalia Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Sammy Davis Jr. They talk about all of them. But you know what they would do to me? I'd be right there with them. That little short, chubby, fat girl. I'd be right there with her. You know what they tell me? Melanie, go outside and sit on that step. Because they wash my hair. They wash my hair. It'd be standing all over my head. Don't go out there sweating and running. You sit on that step and let that sun dry your hair. Okay? Because all those other 2, you only had 2 dryers. So those 2 would be under the dryer and the others waiting. So I had to dry my hair naturally. That was life for me. So while they gossiping, Nosy Rosie, Putting and Toesy was listening Y'all, welcome to the beauty shop. Anything goes today. I'm not standing up here to entertain you. Y'all go talk. Okay? In this beauty shop, this topic today is Black women, caregiving and parenting, a cultural case for our mental health. You know what? My higher power is God. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes who does not worship a true and living God. I respect you, but I feel that all of you have a higher power. I don't know who he is, okay, who it is, but I do respect you for that. And it was so interesting. I pondered the thought. I say, I got to leave it to you. I'm not going to trip today. I'm not going to lose no sleep over you. I'm tired. I'm going to leave it to you. I trust you. My faith in you is strong. And you go see us through this, and we're going to have fun doing it. And then Tabitha comes and talks about what? A 14-year-old mother. Parenting and caregiving. And what? What was the man in her life doing to her? I told my husband the other day, I wish a man would hit me. So, as can we all agree? Can we all agree that women wear many hats? Give me some names. Throw them out. Throw them out. What hat do we wear? Wait a minute. Who's saying a doctor? Come on, tell me about that doctor. Come on. Girl, I rely on my castor oil. Hear me? I can get that coal out there, baby. Give me 3 days. I got it. What you say? Come on, talk about it. Okay, that's the doctor. What else? What else? What else are we? Come on, we wear many hats. Protector. What else? The cook. Come on. Chauffeur. Dry cleaner. The maid. You got them all down? Father. We the shopper. And if you have a man, you the wife. You the sex object. Whew. Welcome to the beauty shop, Johnny. Welcome to the beauty. Yeah. Highway. My husband has prayer service at his church every Wednesday night, and that's 90 miles away. Fantastic. All right. Now let me tell you about being the wife, okay? Like we heard today. We that sex object, we Captain Saber, boo. Captain, oh, that's all right. We Captain Saber, you know what? Okay, but that wife, that sex object, that sex, okay, I need you, come on. That sex object can be abused, misused, okay? Abandoned, left with the children, okay? Because you know what? And then on top of that, you know what else we are? We are toxic friends. Toxic friend. Girl, I know what you're doing. That man mistreating you, I wouldn't take that. She ain't even got a man. She ain't even got one. But she gonna tell you what to do with yours. Girl, if that was my child, I wouldn't let him do all that mess to me I wouldn't be cooking nothing special for my child. You ain't got no children. You don't have the expertise. You don't know what I'm going through. I want the child to eat. If it's chicken nuggets every night, eat your chicken nuggets and carrots every night. Okay? I got to have myself. I'm so excited. Anyway, being a Black woman now, okay? You got to get to Black women. This is about Black women caregiving and parenting. And I want you to know we're not far from brown women, all right? We're not far at all. So we can change that from Black women to minority women. You know, I know a lot of y'all don't believe this, but racism is still alive and well today. Let me tell you, someone came to me this morning and let me know that your Governor Abbott today just passed a law that we don't have to hire nobody based on nobody's diversity. Y'all got a sad plight ahead of you. Do you hear me? So we don't have to have 50% Black, 50% or 20% Black, 25% Hispanic, and 50% other. You hire whoever you want to hire. I feel sorry for y'all because I'm coming out that bad boy. But that's wrong. I went to, yes.
All right. Is it there? There you go. All right. Suggestion. You are in charge of filling out your application. 44th president said you are who you say you are. So if I can be male or female, depending on whatever I say, not what my plumbing says, then I would just be Danish. Because everybody knows that the Vikings conquered the world and we are all just cousins. We're all just Danish of a different hue. And that way you don't have to worry about somebody counting how many of this and that.
This is the beauty shop. I want to encourage you to try that. But I want, that's one thing you need to know. Every opinion, every thought is respected in this room. I want to encourage you to try that, but I am a witness. When we find out on an interview that you lied, you out the door. That's automatic. I mean, you're right, but I can ask. And that's all right. But I'm gonna tell you, if I'm sitting there and that sister, the shoe was on the other foot, and that sister said, "Oh no, I blood Espanol, but I'm white." I'm not going for it. Because one thing I do know in my life, the truth sets me free. And I can't work no job, no 40 years. I'm Danish. Mama fix me some chitlins. I can't do that. Because see, that real me go come out down the hallway in the back in the bathroom, and Miss Mary is gonna hear it. I can't do that, but I do encourage you to try. But anyway, Black women. So in addition to wearing all these hats, Black women in America, we have to consider being Black or even brown. What are the implications of that in America today? What are the implications? Tell me. Yes. Wait a minute, wait for the mic.
I know that for me, growing up as a little chubby, dark-skinned girl, one of the implications for me is whether you're light-skinned or dark-skinned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else has something to say? Implications. Being Black woman in America. Come on. This is our time.
Being misunderstood.
Come on.
I was taught to, when I would be around my mother's friends and everything, to be quiet, be seen.
To be
and not
seen,
heard.
but not heard. Oh, Lord, that was the norm. Shut up.
one of the things I recall is not being allowed to feel anything other than grateful or content.
Black woman in America, minority woman in America.
For me, being a single Black mom, I have to be very strong. So a lot of times, because I am speak my mind, that I am came off as the angry Black woman.
Come on. That's it.
Or aggressive.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm labeled at my job as being very aggressive. So no, I'm not aggressive. I don't lie. I don't lie. When you come and tell me we don't have no money, how is it we don't have no money? And I just ordered $30,000 worth of Travis County bags. We got some money where I can spend $30,000 on bags. I know you got some more money somewhere. You ain't that dumb. Okay, on your 6 figures compared to my little 5. So, you know, I said, so I'm not gonna lie to you. Please don't lie to me. Respect me more than that. Okay, who else got some implications? Black woman in America.
I have 2. One, I have to be super mom. I'm not allowed to need help because I put myself in this situation. And then 2, I have to work harder to get wherever I want to go. Everything you have to work twice as hard to get half as far, and they constantly remind you of it.
Okay, some in the back behind you. Oh, come on, y'all. Let's speed it up. You keeping up with the time for me, y'all? We got to get through. Black women in America, Black and brown. Let's hear from the browns too. Come on.
I have 2. One is being a strong, independent Black woman. Other people see it as, oh yeah, I don't want to be with you. And being second pick, a lot of Black males choose to be with others than you. And I had friends who I grew up with, and I'd be like, why? Because you were just playing around or, having girlfriends. They just be like, oh, well, y'all too independent. Y'all do too much. And I'm just looking at them like, you ain't even have, been in a real relationship in one, but being second and being too independent, as they say.
Good, good, good.
I think mine is along the line of light skin and dark skin, but you have the hourly figure woman compared to the obese woman.
I got to tell y'all about that. Somebody put that on there, how to be an hourly figured woman. I got to tell you about that. We're going to her in the back. I'm got to tell you about that.
I was just thinking about people judge me by my hair and the color of my eyes.
Being confined.
Let's take a few more.
Being confined to a box, us being put in a certain space on what our
expectations
are,
that's right.
Limitations, all of those type of things in life and in business.
Okay, come on. Few more. Y'all need to tell me when I can move from topic to topic. Come on, I want us to get it all.
Real quick, it's not as bad now, but when I was first diagnosed back in '96, the biggest thing was, you Black, you can't be.
Can you work?
Crazy?
You can't be.
That's I can't be, because Black women are not mentally ill.
Come on,
we supposed to be strong.
There you go.
I went through that alone. It's not as bad now, and still I get the whole. You're not bipolar.
I got you.
How many more you
got? A few more. Just take about 2 more, and that's it. I'd like to hear from the brown ladies.
That you're supposed to be a statistic. Because like I'm a single mom. I'm not supposed to be in the military succeeding. I'm not supposed to have a higher education. I'm not supposed to be a homeowner. All those things as a Black woman, a single Black woman, you're not supposed to have. When somebody look at you, they see you're supposed to be on government assistance. You're supposed to not grow. And that's not the case.
Okay, a few more, 2 more. Let's knock it out.
I would say not being Black enough, or having the
because we ain't coming in
the
there
vocabulary,
no
having
we
that
is ready.
that good vocabulary.
Yeah, we is ready. Yeah, we are talking, intelligent, acting, professional, but you're supposed to go in there splitting those verbs using us's.
Discrimination in the pulpit.
Okay. The implications. You must be twice as good on your job. You're often overlooked for promotions. We face racism and separatism. Have you ever gone in the grocery store and that little lady grabs her purse when you walk by? I wanted to tell her, I can give you money. Our education had to be the highest. I walked in with a master's degree, and here this chick is with her BA trying to tell me how to do outreach, and I've been doing outreach 24 years. You know what I told her? Thank you, baby, don't call no more. We face oppression, a form of abuse. We face too much stress too often. Now, let me ask you this. When you face this oppression and your form of abuse, how many of you have faced that from your own supervisors of your own race? My worst supervisors have been the same race as me. And my best friends, my daughter's godmother, is non-Black. She sends my daughter, my oldest daughter, money, a $50 savings bond. She has been there through the years. I don't understand how we arrive knowing we've struggled and we kick our others like us down. I'll tell you what that is. Now, in my day, I'm gonna tell you, young ladies, our appearance had to be together. See, I was that little short, fat little girl. So mama put a girdle on me in the 4th grade. The girdle, baby. But let me tell you about that girdle. Not just the plain little spank looking thing, the panty girdle, the one with the bones in it, the bones. So when you sit down and that little fat roll, that bone would roll down, woo, baby, by lunchtime, I was out of that thing. Walking around with it, fan, and mama would pick me up. I said, Mama, it hurt. It hurt. But I want you to know by senior high school, baby, me and those fishnecks and that bone girl, I was a stepping girl because those heels were this high. And don't you know that's still a part of me now? It's hard for me not to wear, well, I don't wear no girdle now, but it's hard for me not to wear a girdle on Sundays and special occasions. I have the one that comes here. I have the short one. I have the panty one. See, Johnny, you stuck. But I keep my stuff tight and right. And I really don't like to see girls but they do. They do. And they do it on the job. And when that housekeeper see it, they go to the boss and say, he looked at my butt, and it becomes sexual harassment and they lose their job. But you got it all hanging out. I'm just telling you. So I want to tell you that. Oh, I didn't hear you. Didn't see you.
And I want to touch on that because you was taught that. You was raised in that. But what we do as Black women on our job, when we do see people that are like that, we will not go to them and love on them in love. We keep up the chaos with everybody else talking about what sister got on every day. So that's how we tear down each other. There is not, these days, we don't witness that often by us being seasoned or trained or taught to teach others. We stop right there.
Well,
and that's the breakdown that we have now.
I've been, and I've talked to young ladies about that on the job. And you know what she told me? Huh? No, she didn't tell me that. She didn't tell me that. You know what she told me? What? She told me I was jealous. She told me I was jealous. And I told her, baby, if you live what I've been through, it's all right. Okay? But she told me I was jealous. Okay, come on.
I just want to circle back to what I think all of us raised our hands was knowing that we tear down one another so much.
Bad.
And I would really love to touch on this because it feels like I'm sure a lot of our stories are similar to where we've gotten more help from white folks than our own folks. And what is really sad is knowing that the systemic mindset of there's only room for one of us still exists to where we are in constant competition instead of trying to advance and help one another.
I can give you another example, Deborah. I like that. But that, and that's the misnomer that we face. I'll never forget the heads of Capital Metro changed from a white man to an Hispanic male. Everybody in Capital Metro was Hispanic. I'm not lying. Cassandra, is that true? Okay. The head at Travis County was Black. Our new head is Hispanic. Everybody coming on Hispanic. That people, other races take care of their own. We the only ones scared to hire too many Blacks. Okay, y'all, that's a subject for another workshop for next year. Okay.
Okay, I can't speak of Austin right now. I can only speak of where I came from Southern California.
Okay.
I had a boss, African American. If I did something wrong, he'd say, "What happened to you? You know you gotta do it." Oh, okay. He would chew me out, which helped me later on. He chewed me out like I was his child, but he helped me, to get to where and I'm so glad that he did. I am so glad he did.
And I'm grateful for that positive experience, but a lot of us,
I know they don't get it.
They don't get it. I wish I would have gotten that.
Hi, I just like to comment on the the dressing at work, and I too agree that we should dress professionally and appropriate, but it's no secret that we're well endowed. So if I put on a girdle or keep it nice and right and tight, me and the next person can have on the same pair of jeans, but I'm just naturally gonna look different because of what I was endowed with. And so I think that it should just be more of am I dressing professional? Not necessarily is it tight and am I right, but is it professional? Because I'm blessed in the front and in the back.
Cultural statement. Cultural statement. Tight and right is professional. My store was Lane Bryant. That was the only store. They didn't have no Ashley Stewart. They didn't have no Torrid. The store I grew up in was Lane Bryant and somebody sewing for me. My mother found out that the best dress for me was the Sweetheart V-cut necklace, fitted in the waist, spread out over this big hips and stomach, and I still had to put a girdle on. So when I say tight and right, I'm not saying that tight fitted dress, okay? Because I do have a belly. But when I say tight and right, that's a cultural statement, bless your heart, that we need to explain. It was a loose fitting dress. It was the moo-moo dress. But when that girdle, but your hips were so wide, y'all do know I lost 113 pounds. Let me tell you this, those boobs couldn't sag. Have you seen, mama said, no, baby, straight and pointed. Oh, I can tell you a joke on that. I can't do it now. Johnny is in here. Anyway, but let me tell you this. All of these issues, all the stress, all that we're facing, it's called weathering. Weathering. Deborah White, the history professor of Rutgers University, termed this word as weathering because it wears us down. It wears us down. Black women, we are worn out. Now, that's just being a Black woman. We hadn't even gotten to the caregiving yet. Let's talk about caregiving. It is a fact, it is a well-known fact that Black women tend to take care of their parents during their senior years more than any other race. Did y'all know that? The stress and strain of caregiving does take a toll on our health. The percentage of high burden caregiving time by racial ethnic groups are as follows. African Americans, 57% take care of their loved ones on an average of 30 hours per week. I'm different. I took care of my mother 6 years, 24 hours a day. And went to work. Hispanic, non-white, non-African Americans, 45%. They still did 30 hours per week. White, 33%, 20 hours per week. Ironically, even though the percentage of caregiving is higher among the African American population, due to race differences in older adults' health and socioeconomic context, we expect that the physical and financial difficulties and participation restrictions of caregiving will be greater for Blacks than whites. It is. It is. We don't have the money. You can't call nobody in 24 hours, 7 days a week. Toward the end of my mother's life, I did on the weekends because my husband's church was in Kerrville. But before that, I was taking my mother to Kerrville with me. I'd lay her down, make a bed in the car. But toward the end, I had to hire somebody on the weekend. Don't you know I wanted to hire somebody all week long? I couldn't afford that. Okay. Now, I need someone to share their caregiving experience with us.
Hello, ladies. My name is Yolanda Ross. I am caring for a 26-year-old adult daughter who is living with fetal alcohol syndrome. She also has an intellectual disability. So cognitively, she's 13 years of age. And, I have to take care of her. I'm here at this beautiful conference, and I brought her, and her service provider was kind enough to come and take care of her while I'm at this conference. And I was thinking about my daughter Hannah and about, I'm 52 years old. She's 26. And I'm like, I have to make plans about when I do get older, who's going to take care of my daughter? Who's going to take care of her, treat her with dignity and respect? Who's going to protect her? Who's going to make sure that she's not taken advantage of? And these are things that I think about on a daily basis because I don't have my mother. I don't have my father to help me, who helped me when she was first born. And my sister, she's 10 years older than me, and she's been very supportive. But at the end of the day, I don't have anybody, getting my life insurance plans in order and everything, and who's going to be a beneficiary. So I'm planning ahead. And when I saw this session about the caregiving, I'm like, oh my God, they're really thinking about the caregiving burdens. By trade, I'm a social worker, and I have clients, with their caregiving burdens, but I never sat down and said, Yolanda, what about you? So,
and it's your time. I can give you some solutions afterwards, Yolanda, privately. I need someone to keep the time. We still have 2 or 3 more sections to go through.
Good afternoon. My name is Shantice, and I'm actually with the Austin Area Urban League, but that's not my story. My story is at the age of 12, my mother was diagnosed with lupus. Now, mind you, during that time of her life, lupus was not something that was really known of. So for a long time, they said she was crazy. But at the age of 12, she was diagnosed with lupus. And at the age of 12, she was diagnosed with lupus. And I watched my mother go up and down. Now, mind you, I'm the oldest of 4, which meant a lot of my responsibility fell to you. So a lot of the responsibility of her health fell on me, as well as the care of my siblings. My mother suffered with lupus to the point that she lost her kidneys. Then now she was on dialysis. Now, what I know about God is how great he is, because he then allowed my mother to live up until the age of 66 years old.
Oh, that is beautiful. Yeah.
But in the midst of her living to 66 years old, I then had to play that role of now mother, which was really kind of, you didn't realize that I was playing the role of mother until I was in it.
Come on.
And then once it got to the point where her life was in such a way that she could no longer live. My mother just passed away in October of last year, which was a very challenging situation for me, right? But I went from being a daughter, 12 years old, to then being a mother to my mother, and a mother to my brothers and sisters, right? But at the end of the day, because of my faith and because the way that I was taught, since we're talking beauty shop in here, because the way I was taught, failure is not an option.
Come on, talk.
So when we start dealing with the mental aspect of it all, failure was not an option. Doing it with the help of others was not an option. Let's just be honest. This is my responsibility. This is how I was raised.
And nobody else cares. Come
this
on.
is mine. I had aunts and uncles, but this is mine because I was taught as a little girl.
Take care of
what
your
happens,
own.
you take care of yours. You take care of your home. And so I had to deal with that struggle. And now having a child of my own who's 7 years old, I have to admit to myself that I'm still dealing with that struggle of thinking that I got it myself. And something to allow myself to give me a sense of release and peace is to be in situations like this.
Come on.
Or to now say there's healthier options for me in my life where I don't have to carry it on my own.
And you don't have to carry it on your own.
Got more comments over here. Sorry. My name is Taylor. I go by Taylor. I came to this conference because I saw the title. The purpose of my speaking is, no, I don't have lived experience taking care of someone, but there's a program funded by the Texas Department of Transportation called Blue Apple Express. And if you email blueappleexpress@gmail.com, they made a way for you to get $1,600 a month, just working 20 hours. You might be a caregiver for a family member, but you still get paid. And because that person needs to be cared for and you have bills, you can now make $1,600.
Blue Apple Express,
Blue
child. Somebody come on up here and write
Apple
that down.
Express
Child, $1,600 a month.
Gmail.com.
Thank you.
It starts March 1st.
Blue Apple Express at gmail.com.
There's a resource table downstairs, the Shack, which stands for Self-Help Advocacy Center. If you go there and do their orientation on site, the address is 3205.
We got that. Yeah.
South First. Once you
Shack.
do that, then you get in contact with blueappleexpress@gmail.com. The lady's name is Deborah Miller, and she's fighting all sorts of health issues. But she figured out being in a wheelchair people have rights too. And that goes across all generations and all nationalities.
Thank
so
you
that's how
so
she came
much.
up with that.
Caregiving.
When I was younger, my mom remarried when I was 2. She married a man who was very abusive. So at the age of like 6, I had to watch my mother be beat down by this man, literally sometimes dragged by her hair. And I had a sister, the way that it affected her, she would sit in the corner and grab her hair and pull it and beat her head in the back. Now I'm 6. So I got to stop my sister from beating her head in the wall and heal my mother after this man kicked her butt. So this is 6 and go to school. And I have always been raised with the fact that that's your sister, you take care of her. Now my sister is grown. She suffers with mental illness and she's tried to commit suicide, but I still have to be the one to take care of her. And I'm like, Mom, that's your kid. I have my own issues and own 2 children. But as a caregiver, like my mom has always like, put that on me at a young age. And now it's like, I feel like I always have to save my sister. I never have time for me.
Come on.
I am always caring for everybody else.
Weathering.
And I have a 13-year-old, I have a 30-year-old who saw me go through all of my addiction. So now he's 30. So now I feel like I got to care for him because I'm guilty for everything that I did when I was in my addiction. So I'm dealing with that too. So as far as caregiving, like that's a hat that it's just like automatic.
A part of your life.
It's what I do. I don't get a prize for it. It's just what I do. Period. What I was raised.
Chanel.
Yeah.
What a beautiful name. And you know what? I understand your burden. And I want to encourage you to seek out some resources. Seek it out. Chanel, you deserve a break. You deserve, and I know where you're coming from because I felt the same way. So you're not alone in this. Come on.
Chanel, I want your information
Come
to
on.
make sure you get that break.
Yeah.
I am healed.
Thank you.
From childhood trauma. I walk in recovery from childhood trauma.
Thank you.
Dealing with being a caretaker as a child to a mother that was bipolar and schizophrenic. And one thing that I had to realize, I cannot be good for my children, my husband, my community, my church family, unless I got the help that I needed. So I could truly walk in this healing and be the woman of God that God has called me to. But you're talking about resources. I invite y'all to NAMI Central Texas. I am a family support facilitator that is for caretakers. So if you hook up with NAMI, you will be able to have a free space, a safe place to vent. And it's not very many of us there.
Yeah.
When I say I don't see brown people on the line, and this is something that happens every week and that is free to everyone. So I would love to see caretakers on the line actually getting the help that they need so they can walk in the healing. Because at the end of the day, the one thing about caretakers, normally the people that they take care of, they end up being sicker than them because of the lack of taking care of themselves.
Welcome to the beauty shop, Chanel. You see how you can talk and be transparent and get the help? Somebody told me about $1,600. Come on, that's help. Okay, didn't someone else have their hand up?
So my name is Janice, and I am a caregiver for my sister who is 82 years old. I retired in May of 2021. My sister lost her husband in 2018, and from 2018 up until 2022, she didn't feel like she was grieving her husband. And so by that happening, I was taking her to grief counseling, but she told me she wasn't grieving. And so I had to get with the counselor who was facilitating the grief session. I said, you know, she is not grieving. She said, one of the things that the doctor mentioned in her session is that if you don't grieve from outward, it starts affecting you internally. So she started having health issue after health issue. But I say that to say that as a caregiver, we do have to take care of ourselves. And it's called self-care. It's not that we're being selfish, but we must take care of ourselves as well.
My name is Charlotte, and my mother died when I was 6 years old. And I had a 2-year-old sister, and I had 2 older brothers. But my grandmother, my mom's mom, told me that on my mom's dying bed to take care of my sister. So I'm a 6-year-old little girl with a 2-year-old sister, which is embedded in me to take care of my sister. And when going through therapy, come to find out that no fault of my grandma's, she brainwashed me. So when somebody tells you stuff like that as a little girl, you take it on. Now I mother everybody. I mother my friends. I mother everybody. And now I have a grown son,
Talk.
bipolar. He tells me, I'm a grown man, but you don't have no job. You know, he has his own place, but he's on my payroll. So I'm still caring for somebody. And I do have talks with myself. I got to take care of myself. I do travel. I do. That's why I'm still working. I retired and had to go back because I'm trying to reprogram myself to make me number one. My kids are grown. It's my turn. And I have been through some shit. I'm sorry. I just been through some shit.
Welcome to the beauty shop. Welcome to the beauty shop. See how they had to put me out there on that step.
And so sometimes our past comes out, you know, as older we get, but we have to reprogram ourselves. We have to renew our mind. That's a scripture in the Bible. Renew our mind.
Renew your mind. Transform
To
your
transform until somebody else. So we have to take care of ourselves. I tell myself that all the time, and I'm telling you, you got to take care of yourself. Your sister's not your responsibility, especially if she's grown. So you got to make yourself number one. It's selfish, it may sound. You got to take care of yourself.
It's not 2:45. Is it time for us to dismiss? Okay. Okay. Ladies, we still have some heavy stuff to go through. Oh,
Can I real quick?
yeah, because they're running out of time. We got childbirthing. Parenting.
There's a lot of younger people in here because I know we're the senior saint.
Yeah, y'all the old section.
We're the senior saints.
I'm over here, baby, with the 40-year-olds.
There's a lot of younger people in here, and I don't have to take care of anybody. But what I have done is I have had those conversations with my kids about what they're gonna do with me. I'm on my way to being 63. I have some health issues, none life-threatening, but I got a lot of them. But I have my living will. I have that. They have all my passwords. They have everything. The one thing I am going to stress to all of you younger people in here with parents, please do not shy away from those conversations. Because 63, I can go at it anytime. Once you get above a certain age, you can go at any time.
Good information.
You don't have to be 63, but once you get above a certain age, it's gonna happen. Do not, and I hear so many people say, I don't want to have that conversation. I have those conversations. I don't want to move to Georgia because they ain't got no HEB. But I might have to move to Georgia eventually. And my youngest, she's a sit on that egg type. Mama, don't do that. You can't do that. But we're gonna have to make that decision one day. But main thing is make sure they got this in order, that in order. Who's going to take care of the finances? Who's going to have that final say? Whatever. Please do not shy away from those decisions.
Y'all take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. You go be in probate court anyway. My mother died in my arms in June 12th of 2021. I didn't even know my mother was dead. I was so busy keeping her clean. Mama, look at this fresh gown I got on. She was sitting in the wheelchair. So I said, Mama, I'm finna put you in bed. I was standing her up, and my husband, let your mama down. I got your mama. I said, boy, I got her. We were arguing. He stood her up. Water gushed on the floor. I said, oh, Mama, you peed on yourself. I just cleaned you. I told my husband, that's all right. Just sit on the bed. I ran to the other side of the bed, and I lifted her and pulled her to the middle. I said, Mama, you sure are light. And that's when my husband reached down and did this. He said, Melanie, call EMS. I said, what we calling EMS for? Mama just sleep. Granny's not breathing. I said, boy, Mama, tell him you sleep. He said, just do what I say. And I walked out the room praying. And I said, they told me to call Maria in hospice. I said, Maria, They say mama dead. I need you to come over here because I don't believe it. Went back in the room. She said, I'm on my way. Went back and I said, mama, come on. Don't do this to me. Come on. Come on, mama. I said, no, she's sleeping. Maria came, 202, time of death. It happens. Rent houses, furniture everywhere, no will, money in this bank, that bank, this bank. I'm still finding money. And you know what I say when I find it? Thank you, mama. Thank you, mama. I've been to Germany. Thank you, mama. Okay, I'm hurt because that was that's gone. My daddy died first. Then my older sister dropped dead. So they left me and mother. Mother's in Houston. And she was calling me at 2 or 3 in the morning. Somebody in the house. I said, mama, what? You have burglar bars at the top of your steps. You have a camera outside. You have the alarm. Good, they still getting in. So that's when I moved her and had to pay $4,000 for a moving truck to move her 2-story house to storage that I'm still paying for. Okay? You got a comment?
Hi, how y'all doing? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to comment on kind of what you always saying when you were talking about getting the will. And I'm telling you, if you don't get a will, that there's going to be some problems. Especially, I know of a case where a friend of mine, her mother passed, but she had Alzheimer's, and she didn't she didn't give the power of attorney to any of her children. Well, guess what? The state took her house after she passed, so they didn't get anything. And my brother, he he was killed, but he didn't have a will or anything. And his wife, they had a joint account, and so she was able to get that. But the account that her name wasn't on, they took that money. So I'm telling you, like you were saying, make sure that you have an alternative person on your account. Because if something were to happen to you, if you don't have any other person on there, guess what? They're going to take, that bank is going to take that money. They're not going to give you anything. His wife could not do anything to get that money. And she don't even know how much it was. She don't even know anything. They just took it and did their own thing with it because there was nobody else there name on it to claim it.
We had power of attorney. She did do that. On the bank account, let me tell you, that's how good God has been to me. On the bank account, I said, Mom, I went in her bedroom one day. I rearranged my living room because it was an opening. I put a door over that for her. I said, Mom, what you in here doing? I'm writing my pastor a check for $1,000. She had been doing that every month. And my husband or my daughter was mailing these checks to him. I know you ain't. Big boy ain't been here to see you. Big boy hadn't called you at all. The check stopped. I took her to the bank and put my name on her account. That was the grace of God. Other than that, she was sending him $1,000 a month. I wasn't spending her money. Thank you. I wasn't spending it. My mother moved in. How much do I owe you for rent? And my husband said, nothing. I said, Mama, let's go travel around the world with your money. Girl, I don't want to fly. I said, well, let's go to the Caribbean. Too much water, I can't drink it.
Good afternoon. As far as the caregiving, I spoke at a funeral of one of my good friends, her grandmother, and she was her caregiver for 24 years.
24?
This person's daughter lived next door, but the granddaughter did it. So one of the questions that I posed as I was speaking was, have you ever worked a 24-hour shift? Nonstop, no clothes, no nothing. 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. So being a caregiver, you have to be totally committed to do the 24 hours. And she was totally committed until her grandmother died. I told her, I said, for every step, hallelujah.
That's it.
Because he gave you the energy to do it.
That's beautiful.
So
at the end, I had a recliner in my mother's room at the foot of her bed. And that's where I stayed. But when the end came, I was just cleaning up. Never thought of it. And that was God. That was God. Okay, y'all. I know we have a lot. Take care of yourself. Talk to good friends. You got to be careful who your friends are. Find a support group. And the biggest thing you can do is while you are caregiving or after that person leaves, makes their transition, don't make any major changes right away. You're talking about a case for mental health, you are point blank crazy, especially if it's your mama. I don't care how you feel about her, you can't do nothing. Down to the funeral, I had mama in a pink casket with an orange gown on, and I went to viewing. I don't know what told me, take this other gown. She had the gowns under her bed that her daddy bought her. Take this other gown. I viewed my mama with Barry. I don't look right, mama. My mama ain't gonna like this. You got another one to put on? Yes, I do. It was in the car. So we changed that orange sheer gown. She didn't want to be buried in no clothes, to the pink one that matched the coffin. That's God. Because you're crazy. How many of you have children? Oh, Johnny got children. How many children you have, Johnny? Oh, baby, you just started. That's good. That's when it's fun and precious. Precious. Well, women, it's real cute at 8 months. Put on a little cute little clothes, and he trying to, girl or boy? Oh, she's too cute. Okay, childbirthing is the greatest gift God gave to who? Women. We can carry a human body. Sometimes we even carry multiple bodies. Anybody got twins? On my street, you are a twin, that's right. On my street as a child, the triplets lived across the street from me, Jean, Jan, and June Washington. And then cat a corner from me was Yvonne and Yvette Burton. And to this day, you know, we all go home because all our parents died. Hey, Jean, Jan, June. Hey, Yvonne and Yvette. We grew up that way. That's Houston, Texas. Not only are we giving birth to another human, this is followed up with a natural love and a lifelong dose of nurturing. Okay? Women, we are wonderfully made. Okay, now we got to face some hard facts. Which race has the highest rate, highest single parents? Which race has the highest single parents? Black and American Indian kids are most likely to live in a single parent family. 64% of Black children and 52% of American Indian children fit this. What is the one common characteristic among African American families? Y'all got any idea of a common characteristic among all African American families? A strong sense of self is an important characteristic in the African American family. We really try to build positive self-esteem along with the development of ethnic awareness. It's continually emphasized within our culture. We try as a parent, get back, you go always be Black. But then our children go into mixed marriages. Our children go into same-sex marriages. And we have to accept that love and adapt. Which race has the most fatherless children? Fatherless children. Which race? Huh? Black. Comment. She has a comment while you're going. 57.6% of Black children, 31.2% of Hispanic children, 20.7% of white children are living absent their biological fathers.
I like the fact that you, at the end here, it changed from fatherless to absent, because everybody has a father.
Come on.
All right. And we have to be mindful of that because it makes the man feel a certain kind of way about his presence. At the same time, we ought to also be mindful of the systemic systems that exist that make it difficult for the man to be present in some situations.
Okay, I hear you. Let me finish this because we're running out of time. Okay. 67, more than half. Listen to this. 67% of Black children are born into a single parent household. Okay. Am I missing a page? Now here, this was go get you. And we allow it. 73% of African American children are born out of wedlock. Black women, what are we doing? Are we that desperate? Are we that, I mean, birth control is real. Are we that desperate? Now, don't get me wrong. Some people choose to have a baby without a man, but not 73%. And Hispanics, y'all following close behind. What's the issue? Your self-esteem is that low, you gotta have a man? Your sex drive that high? Come on, talk, mama. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, going the wrong direction. Okay.
Well, just me speaking on wedlock or whatever. In April, I'll be married for 10 years. Thank you, Jesus. Don't know how I did it because my mother was married 4 times. And I said that I was, if it don't work, whatever, I'm on to the next one. But I do think that that's a lot of what we struggle with because we have single moms and they're struggling with mental situations and their own abuse or whatever. We haven't seen healthy marriages to model. We don't have a good model to go off of because I was one. I was like, well, my mama said if it don't work out, she was getting beat, whatever the situation is, okay, I'm done with him and on to the next one. And so I think that's what some of the problem is.
Beat me. You go don't eat and don't go to sleep. I've been married 43 years to the same man. And I want you to know it's been hard. But one thing they would tell me, girl, he doing this. Girl, he taking all your money, which he did. Girl, I go to the bank, wouldn't have 10 cents. And the girl at the bank say, my husband was doing that, but he got another whole family. What you go do? In this bank. And I kept putting money in there. And my husband, y'all saw him in the back, that preacher man. That money be gone. But you know what? I hit the door of the bank crying. I went back in there to that girl. I said, it's one thing that I did have to come to the realization that you don't understand. Sorry about that. I love it. See, you got to know what's in here before we get here. Love is a brain situation. I love it. And I'm finna go kick his natural. Do it again. Do it again. Don't eat here. Don't come back here. Y'all, and I'm telling you, it was a couple of years. But I told him, I love you. I took a vow to take care of you. Mess over me again. I got these. 43 years of marriage. I got these. Now, let me tell you how I got them. Mother's Day came, and I have a daughter with a child, so I made sure that she had Mother's Day. I made sure the auntie, my other daughter, had Mother's Day. She don't have no children, okay? I made sure that my memory of my mama was bad. So I got in bed, going to bed. About the second day, same thing. The third day, my husband was in bed, and he said, Melanie, what's that on your nightstand? I said, oh, ain't nothing but a bunch of junk. And I cut the light off and got in bed. He said, no, girl. He got up, cut the nightstand, light on. Melanie, I was in bed. What's this on your nightstand? I said, why are you worrying me? It's a bunch of junk. The Zales boxes. 3 days after Mother's Day. Because I was so tired. I wasn't looking for them. It'll pay off in the end. It'll pay off with prayer. It'll pay off with sacrifice. Young ladies, it's a whole lot in a marriage that man go do. He ain't go wake up. He ain't go feed the children. He ain't go clean up. He ain't go do a darn thing. But you Black women must decide what you have and is it worth keeping him. That's what you got to do. You have to, it's not about what he go do because you ain't gonna change him. Child, the other day, I was so tired, got in bed, every light on in the house, front door unlocked. I said, man, go lock up. I thought you were gonna do it. 43 years. Come on, get your comment, baby.
I'm legally married, and I'm only legally married because it was a deal breaker for my husband. But me, and I'm 30, so millennial generation, I don't see a point in making that commitment for the legal government to track. Okay. Because I'm not a piece of property. And when we look at the history of where marriage came from, it was an exchange of property. You wanted me to take your name so that you could say I belong to you, so that you can make some money from me. That's not this. If it's a marriage and it's between me, you, and God, we don't need a legal marriage certificate for that. It's a commitment between you and I want a love that does not require captivity. I want a love that says, I'm here because I continue to choose to be here, and I trust that you will continue to do the same.
Are you still married to him? You still with him? You're not together. I hear you. I'm not gonna give no comment because Kim had to remind. Let me get her straight. Kim had to remind. Welcome to the beauty shop. Thank you for that. I believe in the institution of the license and the marriage. One man. Okay, I believe in that. And the two shall become one. And we are. But I'm gonna tell y'all, it's a hard road to get there. It's not, I love you. Let me give you some. The two shall become one. You start thinking alike. You start acting alike. You start having the same goals. You start having the same dreams. You start even dressing similar. The two shall become one. No, when I say similar, he said, what color you wearing there? I said, oh, I'm wearing black. Oh, me too. That's what I'm talking about. 5 minutes. Okay, I got to get to this ending. It's bad.
Okay.
Go on.
When you was asking about, okay, Black women, what are you doing? I know for me, when I watched what my mother went through, my whole thing growing up was, I'm not gonna let no man treat me like that. It's just not gonna happen. You're not gonna put your hands on me, so I'm gonna do it first. I'm gonna be the one cheating and going about my business. I'm gonna discard you. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that was my mentality.
That was your mindset.
Until this day, my mother and her husband, my stepdad, have been married for 51 years. And when you just was talking, it was like a light went off. That's what it is. My mother loved him. And what I did not know, and what I want to say is, yes, he beat my mother, but now I can talk to him and tell him how I felt and how I hated him. And I know that he was damaged as a child.
Yeah.
He was abused by his aunts, and so I'm not saying I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was damaged, and so now we sit and have conversations. He goes to counseling. Counseling is okay. He's a better man today than he was back then. But my thing right now, I told him, you damaged the way I looked at men.
Chanel, did he apologize?
He just did about a week ago.
Move on. That's it. Yeah. Don't let it go. Let that past go. You got to move forward. One thing I got to close, y'all. One thing, this is a cultural case for mental health. Just in this room, ladies, what you have been through, that affects your mental health. That affects your thinking. That affects your love life. Baby, I'm going to tell every last one of you, if you fall in love, take it real slow. You don't have to get married at 22, 25, 35. Take it real slow. Okay? I also want to encourage you to go to God's word or your superior being's word. If you live by the word, your life will be much better. Baby, I was a club sister. Nightclub sister. I met my husband in the club. What good can you get out the club? I met my husband 44 years ago, 45 years ago in the nightclub. A cultural case for mental health. The definition, we must learn to have cultural competency when dealing with one another. This baby right here didn't even know what I meant when I said right and tight, did you? She thought I was talking about that tight dress. I ain't gonna wear that. You know why I ain't gonna wear it? Look at that. That belly poking out too hard. Ain't no girl to go put it flat. The belly poking out too hard. So it's a cultural case. We have to make sure we have the right language, old folks, for our younger people. Okay, that's number one. Our culture is that's our customs, our social institutions. So the culture and us trying to integrate into the massive culture, that affects our mental health. Because while we integrate into this larger culture, shacking, being a lesbian, raising our own, wearing these leggings with no underwear on. Y'all know we do it. Y'all know that, huh? I had my husband. I say, baby, let me tell you right now. She ain't got no drawers on. I had to tell that to my husband. Is that what it is? Yeah, baby. She wearing those thin leggings and she ain't got no drawers on. You know what he came home and told me? Melanie, I saw some more women without them. And let me tell you what I told him. Honey, they don't even understand with them wearing this spandex close to their vajayjay coming from China. They don't know what they putting up. You know, Melanie, that's right. And then you go up there. You go up there. I'm real, Johnny. So when your wife go without no drawers, tell her to put some on. They made to, those panties were made to protect you. So y'all think y'all looking sexy in these stores with that booty showing with no drawers on, but it ain't real. Let me give you my closing. It ain't real, be careful. We'll come up with the disease of the COVID heebie-jeebies, okay? We got diseases we don't even know about. One day, I was at work in Palm Square, and y'all, I wore heels. I wore makeup. The old folks knew me. Some of y'all in this room, I think she knew how I dressed at work. I'd wear my heels and my stockings, my girdles and my skirts and jackets. I went to work professional, okay? I was looking good. And an older man came up to me and he said, it must be difficult for you because of your double burden. So, you know, automatic, I say, is this man calling me fat? He finna get cussed out. Because I really thought he was calling me fat. I weighed 313 pounds. Do you hear me? I got pictures in my wallet. Melanie, pull out that driver's license. So I said, I don't know this man. I'm on my job. I'm in this hallway. I'm finna cross him. Oh! So I brought myself. I said, what are you talking about? A double burden? What are you talking about? He said, being Black and being a woman, that's a double burden. And I said, what? He said, being Black and being a woman. I kept on, baby. I was just walking. Because my tongue was real quick and God has slowed that tongue down. Turned around to that man and said, mister, that's my greatest asset. Okay? Because it's a mind thing. Everywhere you go, whatever you do, remember you are the message that you bring. Okay? Realize the more you have, the more threatening you go appear. Come in there looking raggedy. Go to work looking sloppy. Go to work with tight pants and that panty line showing. They don't care. That's what they expect you to look like. But go in there with it tight and right. You threatening. What she thinks she is? Who she thinks she is? You are your greatest asset. Chanel, with all your burdens, baby, I cried many a night too. And I know I have some crying days ahead of me. But when I get through crying, I go down in prayer. And when that Holy Spirit come up on me, I'm ready for the next day. So I want to encourage all of you. Yeah, it's a cultural case for mental health, but we are strong Black women. We are overcomers, and we have a power that delivers us, that strengthens us, that keeps us day by day. Okay? Find where you are comfortable. The last thing I want to tell y'all, deal with the hand that you are dealt with. Let the good times roll. Deal with it. Pardon me, what's your name? Deal with it, Renee. Separate households. Deal with it.
You had to get in that.
Beauty shop.
Welcome to the beauty shop.
Welcome to the beauty shop. I love y'all, all of you. I love y'all.
I would like to thank Melanie Diggs for sharing her knowledge and insight with us. I want to also thank Austin Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated for sponsoring our workshop. I also want to, if you'll just stand, Aisha Williams, a representative from NAMI. Also, yes, is in the room. She'll be standing at the back of the door. An additional resource for us. We're more than happy to reach out. I want you to know that NAMI also has a Black face, and we are here as a resource to you. All right, again, thank you all for being here. After this workshop, I need you to make your way downstairs very quickly. If you need CEU credits, please scan the barcode and see my amazing room assistant in the back. Thank you so much. And your survey. Survey. Welcome to the beauty shop.